Hey, Wealth Warriors. Does the person you show up as on a regular basis align with and match the person you desire to be? Does she or he have, do, and be what you desire? Have the things, tangible and intangible, do the things, and be what is required to achieve and sustain all of this? Does she or he embody $1 million image? That's what we're covering in today's show. Welcome to the Street Smart Wealth Experience, the show that empowers you to create the business and the lifestyle of your dreams while living a fulfilled, wealthy life in every sense of the word. I'm Jackie Elmer of StreetSmartWealth.com, creator of the Street Smart Wealth Academy and PeakPerformanceHabits.com, teaching you the skills and habits to make those dreams a reality. Let's go. Now, when I ask those questions about having that $1 million self-image, most of us would reply, no, not entirely. We don't truly have or meet that criteria just yet. And the reason we answer that way to that question is because if we were in fact showing up as that person consistently, we would have our goals, right? We would be surrounded by all the things that we want. We'd have the body of our dreams, the partner of our dreams, the home, the lifestyle, the business, all of that of our dreams. Now, this person is most commonly known or referred to as your future self. You can even Google that and find a lot of references. I like to call it my $1 million self-image. So let's define your future self and the action steps that she or he will take to evolve. Your future self, in a nutshell, is who you desire to become. And our work together defines that vision and more specifically details the thoughts, the habits, the beliefs, and actions that must be curated and built to become that person, that future self. Choosing to define a newer version of yourself will require you to show up differently, release some old limiting habits and beliefs, right? Probably a few come to mind as I say that. It'll require building some new ones, dreaming bigger, and expecting more of yourself than ever before, and conditioning yourself and disciplining yourself to take the action steps to make all of that a reality. And it's not because you have something to prove or fix because you're broken in some way, but rather because you are deserving and worthy of your desires. So let's get started telling a new story and stepping into a first-class version of your life. Now, your current self, the one that you're currently living, all that you're experiencing with everything and everyone around you, the people, places, things, events, your environment, that's your current self. It's the mental picture you have of yourself, and we all have one. Now, this is not about whether or not you like and accept yourself. It's not thinking that we need to change those things, but we all have an image we hold in our mind about ourselves. So you might like yourself and accept yourself, but you also most likely have some limiting beliefs around what is possible for you in all the areas of your life. So it involves the thoughts that you have about your appearance, about your personality, about your capabilities. It determines the goals that you set and the actions you take consistently toward those goals. And it's controlling your entire life. Let's say, for instance, you're someone that's wanted to release 20 or 30 pounds, and you've been that way for 5 years. You haven't released that or kept it off, that weight, because honestly, in your mind, your self-image is someone who doesn't take the action, doesn't eat the food, doesn't exercise, doesn't embody all the things of the person who would be 20 to 30 pounds lighter. The average person has a self-image that runs on autopilot. And in most cases, this person then creates their self-image from past experiences. And this means for you and I that we're going to continue to produce similar results from the past instead of those new possibilities that are out there and available to us in the future. Knowing this, What we really truly want to do is grab hold and take back control over our thoughts, over those beliefs, those limiting stories and pictures that we run through our mind over and over again. And that's going to give us the ability to take back control over the actions and to create and step into that future self that is aligned with our goals, our dreams, and our aspirations for our life. So we start with an honest look at where we are right now, breaking down what we're happy with, because it doesn't mean releasing everything. If you look around and you practice gratitude, there's probably many things in your life, in your self-image, in your current realm of being that you want to keep, that you're happy with. And that is fabulous. This isn't about letting go of everything. It's not necessarily about burning it all down and building from scratch. But then we also want to look at those areas that we're unhappy with, that we feel are keeping us stuck. And then that final piece is we have to become very honest with what we're truly willing to change. Not that we want to change. So notice I said the word willing. It's one thing to state a goal, to want a goal, to desire that change. And it's another thing entirely to be willing to change. Change is hard. I'm not going to lie. Change is hard. Change takes discomfort, a word that I have learned to love, along with discipline. Those are two D words that a lot of people have some negative thoughts around. But change takes discomfort. Change takes stepping out of our comfort zone, or rather pushing that the boundaries of our comfort zone out further. That, of course, involves discomfort. Everything you've ever wanted, however, is truly just outside the boundary of where you have your comfort zone set for now. And like I said, in so many ways, it's not about stepping out of the comfort zone. It's pushing. Okay. Imagine like an invisible tent or a wall or, the like plastic that comes down to separate, to keep you sheltered from the wind. Just imagine pushing that out further than you have currently established around yourself and that comfort zone. So let me ask you, how have you been feeling in the three core areas of life? There are three primary areas that most of us focus on. There are others, but these are the three primary: health and wellness, relationships, and money. I recommend taking some time and setting it aside, get quiet, get with your journal, a piece of paper, and in each area, I want you to just think about where you are. Where are you in terms of your health, your fitness, your wellness, your overall well-being? And then ask yourself those three questions. What are you happy with and want to keep? What are you unhappy with and desire to change? And what are you willing to keep and to change? And then you're going to do this in each of those three areas. We started with health, fitness, wellness. We're going to move on to the area of relationships, and we'll repeat that again in the money, business, career side of things. And money can mean a lot of different things. It could be your investments. It could be how you spend money. It could be just your relationship overall with money. It could be a business that you run, or the career, the job that you hold. It could be a lot of different things. So the most important thing is that you keep in mind whatever it is that money means for you. So I want you to think of a 5-year goal for how you want to live your life. And then we're going to begin to work it backwards. You've likely said this before or heard this before. And I remember the first time I ever heard it was like a V8 moment. We often overestimate what we can do in 1 year, and we underestimate what we can do in 5 years. That's why it's so tempting to quit on anything when we don't see the immediate success that we want. But if you can truly set a 5-year goal and then make a 5-year commitment to it, imagine what is possible. So start with that 5-year goal and put that out there. Decide what that goal is. There's no right or wrong. Let your imagination go wild and have some true fun with it. And then working it backwards, what do you believe a realistic 1-year goal would be on this journey? and then write that down. And again, don't overanalyze it or worry about getting it exactly right. We have to have a starting point. We have to have something that a goal that we're shooting toward, and then we can begin to alter and adjust based on what we're capable of, what we're unhappy with and desiring to change, what we're willing to change, and the reality of what we have access to in terms of resources, both time, money, energy, etc. So it's okay to overshoot a goal. Just don't let that derail you when you look at that goal and think, oh, there's no way possible. Sometimes we just have to bring it in a little tighter as we move toward that ultimate 5 year. So we start with the 5 year, then we plot the 1 year, and then we'll reevaluate after 1 year. Then from there, begin to write the action plan to make this happen. Now, I like to do mine in 90-day segments. What are the tasks that I must complete in each 90-day segment? And then how do I break that down into daily, weekly, and monthly tasks? From there, you've heard me talk before, just this week, I had a podcast on planning. I do my Sunday planning. How do I break that down and make sure that it gets put on the calendar? Because what's on the calendar gets done most often. I block that time. I commit to that time. I've already plotted out my zone of genius times. I'm a morning person. That's when my energy is highest. You may be an evening person. So don't let the fact that I do most of my really important tasks in the morning when my energy is super high, especially those tasks that I have to do independently. Most of my coaching clients I work with in the afternoons and evenings. And the reason for that is because I draw energy from people. It's not challenging for me to rise to the occasion when I'm coaching with someone. Not challenging at all, because together I glean energy out of that. But when I have to get myself motivated, when I have to stop procrastinating, when I have to do all the things to shoot the videos, the podcasts, the marketing, all of that that goes into running this business, morning is my zone of genius time. So I work really hard to protect that time. I get it on the calendar. It's blocked. Nobody else can book that. A coaching client can't book it. Nothing can supersede that unless I choose intentionally to overwrite that time slot to get something done. Okay. So I make sure that it gets slotted on the calendar in the time slots, and I'm very specific. So for instance, typically Wednesday mornings, I block off 2 hours to shoot videos and podcasts. Typically, that time is blocked every single week, every single month, all year long, and into other years. That doesn't mean that I can't disrupt that and can't move that, but I know that time is blocked. I know exactly what I'm going to do. On Sunday afternoon, I know that on Wednesday, I'm going to get up, shower, get ready, and do what I have to do for videos, podcasts, all the rest of it. And it's very freeing to know that I know exactly what I'm going to do. That's where that D word of discipline comes in. Sometimes we want to harsh on that word, but for me, the discipline of having that and not having to wake up and think, oh, when am I doing all that for the week? To know that that's already slotted in, that creates extreme freedom for me to live the rest of my week free and independent. Then I also have time slotted where I'm going to edit videos if I'm doing the editing, or create the marketing pieces, upload it here, there, and everywhere else. So it's really ultimately, and I will do a show on checklists versus to-do lists, but it's learning how to break everything that you do into tasks to know exactly what has to happen to create something in your marketing and business plan, and making sure that that time is planned for and slotted in. Now, if you go back and you listen or re-listen to show 451 on making your big idea a reality, I give you a recap for how to actually do these steps to get things broken down to complete your goal. So go back and give that a listen. 451, just 2 weeks ago, I think it was. Give a listen to that. And honestly, most of us can easily identify those things we'd like to change in those areas of our life. So we start with that, and then we break it down into those steps that have to be taken in order to make that a reality. So go back and do that. Now, often when we identify those things that we'd like to change or those things that just aren't as we want them to be, our mind can really start spinning and turning on that. And we can get stuck in the story of why those things aren't happening. That puts us on what I like to call the struggle bus. Now, I'm from the airline industry, so I like to use a lot of aviation and travel terms, but that puts us on the struggle bus. And then we often feel stuck and unsure of how to actually get ourselves off this struggle bus. If you want to change your life, we have to start by changing our thinking, our beliefs, and our habits. We create that vision of the person we want to become, that new self-image to step into. To do this, we have to begin to run new pictures and stories through our head. And that begins to shift the way you see yourself, the way others see you, and how you expect to interact in the world. It's easy to do the work where we write out that picture of who we want to be, right? You might spend some time working on that future self. You spend one day or an hour and you write it all down and it's all dreamy and sounds great. And it's easy to daydream about all the things that we want, write them down and feel good about them. But what happens so often is that we only do that one time. We spend the time doing that and then we stop. And then it's easy for us to subconsciously keep ourselves riding down the road on the struggle bus. We're never actually ringing the bell, having the bus driver stop and getting off. Okay. We get stuck on that struggle bus of thinking of everything that's not right, which engages us in doing those habits that keep us stuck exactly where we are right now. How often do you really engage in the art of visualization? Truly engage in it, not just give it lip service. And believe me, I'm talking to myself when I say that, because there have been plenty of times in my life when I've thought that I was doing all those steps, but I wasn't really blocking the time to visualize, even if it's just 30 seconds to 3 minutes. Do you take the time once a day to close your eyes, to smile, to feel a positive, empowering feeling in your body, to feel that sensation, and then see yourself exactly as you'd like to be? There is true power in this. Now, I do this in 2 different ways. The first is, just like I said, to actually close my eyes and conjure up that feeling, that picture, the happiness, the joy, the good feeling. Sometimes I have to reflect back on a memory. If I wake up in the morning on the struggle bus, sometimes I have to really get myself in a place and remember one of the happiest days of my life and come from that place of feeling to then close my eyes and get in that feeling space, put that smile on my face, and run the picture through my mind of me achieving, experiencing, having, doing, being all that I desire from that future self. Now, the second way that I do this is to journal it out. I'm a huge journal person. If you're watching this on video, I have a reflection journal this time. It says self-reflection journal, which I thought was quite perfect for this year, really working on the future self and the self-image, because I can literally look in this and I can see myself. So make sure you have a journal, okay? Make sure you have a journal. So that's the second way. I do the same thing. I get into that good feeling space. I get that smile on my face, and then I start writing exactly what I see in my future. I'm traveling around. I'm running salons and workshops for a year, quarterly, around the world. I have a huge bucket list of places I still want to see and people I want to meet and experiences I want to have. And I want to run VIP workshops, small boutique workshops for 8 to 12 people, where we can really spend a day or a weekend creating impact. And I spend time with myself, my current self, my future self, and my journal, and that smile on my face and that feel good in my body. And I visualize that. Because we don't just get what we want. And you know this already. Most of us are filled with wants that we haven't achieved yet. We get what our habits direct us toward. So if your habits are getting you what you want, then that's fabulous. Just stick with them. And if your habits are not getting you what you want, then let's change your habits. You're already committed to something. We all are, whether it's sitting on the couch and binge watching Netflix while we eat, a bag of chips and salsa, my favorite vice, or whether it's doing 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, getting up, putting on those walking shoes and getting out and walking in nature and moving our bodies a little bit. So we're already committed to something. The question is, are we getting the results that we truly desire? We're getting results, right? Our results are evident all around us. Our results are evident of what we are creating in our life through our habits. So the question again is what you're currently committed to, and by committed, I mean you're committed not necessarily by what you state, but by what you do. So are you committed to getting the results that you say that you want? That's the important thing. Is what you're committed to and doing currently, day in and day out, is it getting you where you want to be? And if the answer is no, then the next question is, why are you choosing to stay committed to that path? You may feel like you've tried and failed in the past, and you may feel like you just can't handle one more failure. I've said before, it's so important that we begin to reframe the way we view the word failure. It's just a learning step along the way. If no one ever failed, we'd never have any of the things that we have today. We certainly wouldn't have our phones, these computers, this fabulous video processing ability, blogs, YouTube. We wouldn't have any of that if those people had said, I just can't handle one more failure. Really, most of it's not your fault, okay? This whole concept around failure, just look around you. Most of our society struggles with this. Something somewhere hasn't worked, and so we think to ourselves, why would I possibly believe that it'll be different this time? I totally get it. But we also know that doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results is the definition of insanity. We've got to start doing things differently. We've got to start reprogramming our thinking and reprogramming our feelings around those thoughts, which reprogram our action steps that we're taking. When we know why and how to do these things, we get the success that we want. And it truly does start with why. The how will reveal itself the more committed we get to why. That's what's going to propel us to take the action steps that are required. Some of those action steps are going to move us toward our goal. Some of them are going to be a learning opportunity and move us away from that goal. There's no right or wrong. They're both right, actually. I should say there's no wrong. They're both absolutely right. So how committed are you to your core values, to success in your life, to looking and feeling better, stronger, sexier, more confident? What's that worth to you? I want to encourage you to check back in on this regularly. Okay, I'm here with a lot of tips, reminders, motivators, and a lot of encouragement on how to show up better for yourself, your family, and relationships. And most specifically, not just yourself today, but your future self. Just taking 15 to 30 minutes a day to create that vision, to feel that vision, and then to take action in positive habits toward that vision of your future is all it takes. We'll create new habits that become like any habit, just something that we do consistently, but we have to take those first steps. We work on reprogramming the priority that you place on you and your wellness, your health, feeding your soul, taking action in your business. Shift your thoughts and shift your life. So we'll end with how we began. Does the person you show up as on a regular basis align with and match the person you desire to become? How so and how not? Does she or he have, do, and be what you desire? Have the things tangible and intangible. Do the things and be what is required to achieve and sustain all of this. Does he or she embody a $1 million image? So today, create that $1 million image for your future self and practice being that person every single day. If you're watching this on video, I'm holding up this fun little $1 million bill that someone created for me and put my picture on it. And I look at that every single day. And then I ask myself, how does this person wake up? How does this person get up? How does this person make up, show up? What habits and action steps does this person take? What are the thoughts, the beliefs? And what results do these thoughts, beliefs, habits, and actions create? Beliefs are big, and a belief is just a thought that you keep on thinking. And you keep on thinking it to the point that you begin to really think that belief is true. But let me ask you, are all beliefs true? That's a big question. The answer is no. Quite often our beliefs are not true, or they don't have to stay true. Yet with every belief that we have, we create those deep neural pathways in our brain that become the building blocks of our life. Because whatever you believe is ultimately what you create. We'll cover more on beliefs and where they come from and how to evaluate their trueness and how to shift them on an upcoming show. If you want a co-pilot on your journey, someone to assist you in getting hero results as you reach your desired destination and enjoy the journey of not only getting there, but being there, then visit StreetSmartWealthAcademy.com and learn more. I'm Jackie Ulmer. I'll see you on the next show. Would it change your business at all if you knew exactly what to say online and offline about your business without annoying family, friends, and strangers? Join me for the KillerContentFormula.com 3-day challenge. I'll provide proven tools to overcome fears and limiting beliefs that keep you feeling stuck with what to share on social. We'll create your powerful impact introduction. We'll write your business story in a formula to share on social that attracts your ideal clients and doesn't turn anyone off. And you can use this formula over and over and over. No more stare, compare, and despair about what to say to grow your business. Grab the first 3 video trainings at KillerContentFormula.com. And let's create that rock star lifestyle business you desire.